welcome back to Rock Baba. Welcome back to a brand new video. And I am today joined by Mr. Adidev Guru, a brother from another mother, a fellow Chelsea fan from GuruGyaan. Please check out his channel. Link is in the description below. And we've also done a video on his channel too. Please go and check it out. Please show some love to him. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. And today we will be talking about some players who have kind of flown under the radar and who we think will be the players to watch out for as we move into the business end of the season. The player which has impressed you the most and suddenly came out of nowhere, who that player would be?
Lord Lingard.
Lingardinho.
Lingardinho, just jumping straight to the point. Lingardinho. Honestly, because in Manchester United, he was a very laughed at figure in the setup. And when he's come to West Ham, he's unleashed himself completely in that free role that he's been given, in the freedom that he's been given to roam around in the final third and to create basically in between the midfield and the forward, because only Antonio is the guy who's up front. So he's the one who links up play between the midfield and the forward, which is really good to see. Although you notice that his stamina isn't consistently there for the full 90 minutes. It wasn't there with United as well. It was very evident that he's not a machine. He will not run for you for 90 minutes. He will walk for a majority phases of the game, especially in the latter half of the game. But I don't think so. West Ham are too troubled by it. They always wanted people to be more effective in the final third. That's what they were looking at, because at times in the first half of the season, Mikel Antonio looked very isolated. He was devoid of any service up front. And that is why when you have a player like Jesse Lingard coming into the picture, players around him become better because they know that they have a player who can be a supplier to them. Because there is Jared Bowen and Pablo Fornay who have looked absolutely brilliant after Lingard's arrival, because they were also good. I think Jared Bowen was pretty good for the first half as well, if I'm not wrong. But Pablo Fornay, especially after Lingard has come into the picture, Pablo Fornay has looked very much alive in this particular league. So yeah, for me, for the first pick, it would be Lingard.
Yeah, rightly said. And what a banger of a goal he scored the other day against Arsenal. And आपको यही लगता है कि it is more down to the confidence and how a manager treats his players, and it's not always about the system or the ability of the player, but football is as much as a mental game as it is skill based. Or the mentality and the focus that we see right now from Lingard is day and night what we were seeing when he was at United. So do you think it is down to David Moyes also, that he is getting a tune out of him right now?
Exactly. That was the point that I was trying to make, was, he's getting the freedom to be what he wants to be. Be what you wanna be. He's getting the freedom to be right there what he wants to be in the final third. Okay. And that is where I come at when I'm talking about David Moyes, because David Moyes always he was always considered a very pragmatic manager. Historically, he's always been considered that. Probably that's why he couldn't really work wonders with Manchester United when he was there, because he was chosen at a time when he was not used to managing a big team. Okay, he was managing Everton, who were at best a mid-table club. They didn't have too many stars in that particular, but David Moyes made them stars. Now we can't have probably a Marcelo Bielsa probably coming to Juventus and managing a Cristiano Ronaldo, and we can't expect him to do wonders. We can't expect him to do that, because Marcelo Bielsa, again, respect for whatever he has done in the managerial circuit, but he's not been a part of a top club throughout his history. He's managed mid-table clubs and made them into heavyweights. So he has done, but he's not managed a top club completely. That is David Moyes. That is exactly what David Moyes is. So when you're looking at West Ham again, West Ham under David Moyes for the first few months, they looked like a wreck. But that is where Jesse Lingard comes into the picture, because when you have a player coming from Manchester United into the mix, मैं वापस repeat करूं?
He last line.
Yeah. You have a player coming from Manchester United into the mix, such a big player, not a big player, such a player from a big club coming into the mix, who is considered to be flashy, okay, who is considered to have a certain level of flair to his game. Okay, maybe not the required technicality to make it in the top 4 clubs, but he has a lot of flair in his game. Probably that is what other people around West Ham, around him, need to be more efficient in what they do. And that is what's happening with West Ham right now, because when they see a player from Manchester United playing in their club, they will be like, okay, fine, we need to rise up to his level, because his expectation, his upbringing in football is levels above us right now. I know there's a player from Chelsea's academy who's Declan Rice playing there. Who, but if I'm talking about other people around him as well, there's Mark Noble, who's brought up in the West Ham academy. There is Ogbonna. There is there are other people also. There's Jad Bowen, who was brought from the Championship, if I'm not wrong. So if I'm looking at these other people around him, they are not exactly from a very high level of football upbringing. They don't have they're not from that high level of football roots. For example, they don't have that kind of a scene as how Jesse Lingard boasts of. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what Jesse Lingard brings to the table. He brings a lot of pride, he brings a lot of prestige, and he just ups the levels within the team, ups the benchmark within the team, so to speak.
And talking about the top 4 scrap right now, so City have run away with the title, no questions about it. It's only a matter of time before they seal it. If we talk about other teams, like if we talk about United, if we talk about Leicester, so in those 2 clubs, which players have impressed you the most? If I come to United, obviously Bruno is one player who has been in everyone's eye, right? But do you think a player like Luke Shaw has been absolutely magnificent this season? I mean, he's really coming to his own right now.
Yeah, and there are people who are telling me he's probably one of the best left backs in the world right now. That is a stretch. Okay, that is
what United fans are really good at.
That is not even United fans. Not even United fans telling me. I was in a Champions League. I was in a Champions League call a little while back with some fans from all of the other clubs who were part of the quarterfinals. I don't remember which person said this. Yeah, a Dortmund fan told me. Yeah, a Dortmund fan told me that Luke Shaw is one of the best left backs in the world right now, and I'm like, what? Like, what?
Actually, this is down to what I and Gaurav have discussed in my last video, that the quality has downgraded a lot. If we talk about the modern fullback, the modern game requires fullbacks to essentially be second wingers. There are not traditionally defensive fullbacks, if we talk about the term. Like, for example, you will not find a fullback like a Philip Lahm right now, or a left back like an Ashley Cole. All these fullbacks are very attack minded. So if a fullback stands out just a little bit from his counterparts, then the buzz is all around him, like he's the best right now. For example, Trent Alexander-Arnold was the best right back for past 2 years, if I'm not wrong. And now he is being absolutely exposed, because jab se Van Dijk ko injury hui hai, and the makeshift center backs that Liverpool have been playing. So you can see how Robertson and Alexander-Arnold are performing right now. So saying that Luke Shaw is the best left back right now, I'm not on board with this, because I don't think that there are quality fullbacks right now in the modern game.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to make a top 11 right now, like of top 11 players right now. You cannot have a clear picture in your mind that कौन से आपके लेफ्ट बैक होगा, कौन सा प्लेयर आपका राइट बैक होगा. मतलब जैसे पहले था कि प्रीमियर लीग में एक ही है, एशली कोल है और राइट बैक गैरी नेविल. फिर उसके बाद बाकी डिस्कशन होता था. टेरी फर्डिनेंड, मतलब ये बैकलाइन फिक्स रहेगी. तो अभी ऐसा सीन नहीं है. तो ठीक है, अभी शॉ परफॉर्म कर रहा है इसलिए थोड़ा बज है, एंड ऑब्वियसली बीइंग अ मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड प्लेयर ही विल गेट द लाइमलाइट. But saying that he is the best left back in the world right now, then he will have to perform consistently.
Exactly. And I think in the world right now, there are better left backs than him. I rate Alphonso Davies more than him because of the fact that, yes, Alphonso Davies is amazing going up front, but while tracking back also, he's no less because he has got the pace, he's got the legs, he's got the physique as well. So I rate Alphonso Davies a little bit more over him. But when it comes just to the Premier League and to this season, why we picked Luke Shaw is, like, in my opinion, is why, because Luke Shaw this season has reinvented himself, to be honest. The way he bombs forward every time, and he's a ball of stamina on that left wing. Okay. His crossing has improved a bit as well, to be absolutely honest. His crossing was horrendous a little while back, and his consistency has also improved. He's more consistent now with his performances, at least in this season. And defensively, he positions himself at the right time, at the right place. Like, this is happening more and more often with Manchester United. When we look at the opponents attacking Manchester United, not many of them focus their attacks through the right, where Luke Shaw is operating. Luke Shaw is effectively the left back. So for the opponents, it becomes the right wing. So not many people are operating from that particular wing because they don't want to face Luke Shaw. Van Bissaka gets himself exposed sometimes on the right because he bombs forward too much. So yes, Aaron Van Bissaka is another absolutely brilliant addition to Manchester United. I'm not taking anything away from him, but when I'm comparing the two fullbacks, I feel if I'm the opposition for Manchester United, I'll try to attack from Aaron Van Bissaka's side rather than Luke Shaw. But because I know Luke Shaw is more defensively solid and would not like to bomb as much forward as probably an Aaron Van Bissaka. Because Aaron Van Bissaka continuously keeps making those runs there. Luke Shaw is a very mindful player this season. He's a very mature player this season. He understands that he understands that he has a stocky figure to himself. Okay, he understands that he has a stocky figure to himself. So when he has to track back, he can't track back a huge distance. Okay, so when he gets an opportunity, he thinks about bombing forward a lot before doing that. Okay, so he really thinks about that particular situation. He puts his mind to a situation a lot in this season, and I think that's really benefiting him well. So yeah, that's why he's one of the most underrated players currently.
Talking about Van Bissaka and right backs, England is really spoiled for right backs right now. Spoiled for choice in that department. Alexander Arnold, Kyle Walker, Van Bissaka, Reece James, Trippier, Tariq Lamptey is also an upcoming talent.
Yeah.
So I think it's not going to be easy for Gareth Southgate to make his selections. Okay, now moving to our favorite club, Chelsea FC. So when Tuchel had taken over, so we were really, bonkers over his selection because we were not sure what system he's going to play. Last 2-3 games, I've seen the team taking a shape, and the selection is also quite consistent. If it is not for injuries, he is trying to put out same team week in, week out. Apart from the wingbacks, obviously, it depends on the opposition, what kind of attacking threat they pose. But the front three and the back three are almost the same, and the keeper. These people are always same. And we are also seeing a budding partnership between Kovacic and Kante. Hakim Ziyech's revival, so to speak, after he had a tough time. He was initially quite good when Lampard was in charge. I think in the game against Sheffield, when we played Sheffield at home, we beat them 4-1. He created 6 or 7 chances in a single game. And the start was quite promising. then he kind of faded away, also due to injuries. And the kind of traits that he has, he's not a physical presence inside the box. He cannot drive at defenders and scare them. But seeing his talents utilized by Tuchel is absolutely amazing, and he brings altogether a new dimension to the attacking play that we are having right now. So, what do you think about this? And is there any other player that you think has performed good when Tuchel has taken over? Since Tuchel has taken over,
I think I was one of the loud Ziyech doubters in the middle. it's okay. I called a spade a spade. It was Ziyech almost looked like he had no desire to play in the middle part of the season. Everybody saw that whenever he started, whenever he played, it just looked like he didn't want to be on the pitch at that particular time. So it looked like that in the past, but I don't know what has happened in the past 3 games, how Tuchel has handled this situation. I have no idea about that. We are just fans. We are just talking about stuff probably. But I think in the past 3 games, it's just back to the old Ajax days for Hakim Ziyech. He's still not giving us those signature diagonal balls, to be honest. Okay, he's still not. That is the only thing we are missing. If I have to pinpoint one small thing that we are missing with Hakim Ziyech's performances, that's the signature diagonal balls that he gives from one flank to the other, which I think in Ajax, Tagliafico was benefiting a lot from on the left. Okay, so that is something that we're still missing. If he manages to do that, because I believe Marcus Alonso, with his tendency to bomb forward from the left, if Hakim Ziyech starts doing that, Marcus Alonso is going to be in the top 10 goal scorers of the Premier League next season. So that is the only chink in the armor for Hakim Ziyech right now, because apart from that, in the past 3 games, I believe he's not lacking in anything else. He is finding spaces to roam around. He is given more. He's given a more free role on the right, because yes, there are times when you see Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech almost in the same position on the right, because Kai Havertz also likes to drift into the right. He doesn't want to be more central. He likes to drift to the right when you're playing him as a false nine. So he likes to drift to the right almost to a position where Hakim Ziyech is playing in, and that sometimes causes a bit of a confusion because you have 2 players effectively playing in the same position. So there's a large chunk of space that you're leaving really free in the final third, and that has been our undoing a lot of times when we are counter-attacking. But apart from that, Hakim Ziyech, there's not too much wrong with how he's playing, because the weight that he's putting in with his passes as well, that's absolutely brilliant. And also the fact that he's showing his pace really well. He's getting into good positions, which is really good. That is something that we were discussing about in some of the previous games that he started in, because he wasn't getting into good positions in the box. We were getting into good positions in the box in our attacking moves, but he never had anybody else to probably cross the ball to. I think so. There was one occasion where Pulisic got into the box. कौन सा मैच था? लिवरपूल का गेम था, if I'm not wrong. ठीक है, लिवरपूल का कि साउथहैम्पटन भी नहीं, शेफील्ड था, if I'm not wrong. ठीक है, शेफील्ड के गेम पे Pulisic was attacking from the right, and he was getting into good positions, but he never had anybody to cross the ball to in the first 30 minutes. And I think Ziyech is the one. I think एक picture भी आया था, if I'm not wrong, कि Ziyech ऐसा बॉक्स के बाहर वेट कर रहा है, but Pulisic already पहुंच गया है.
That was the Leeds game.
That was a Leeds game, my bad. Yeah. That was the Leeds game. So I'm talking about those situations where ऐसे situation बहुत आए थे बीच में. ठीक है, ऐसे situations बहुत आए थे बीच में. So that's exactly why I'm so happy that we have moved past that, and I hope post this international break, because ये चीज discuss भी हुई थी कि international break is going to be a do or die thing for Chelsea right now, because it can be a boon, it can be a bane for us, and I hope it continues to be a boon for us, and I hope that Ziyech comes back as the same figure that he was when he left us for the international break.
Yeah, because when he scored against Atletico also, before that game, he was most of the time he was a passenger. But after that ball went into the back of the net, he was a completely different player. I mean,
Exactly.
the way he was driving with the ball through the midfield, the way he was trying to find Werner on the counter, and he was releasing the ball very early, and he was quite precise with his passing. I remember he did not even misplace one pass the entire game. And then he was also trying to take some shots, which showed that he was full of confidence at that moment of time. So yeah, I think he has shown us the flashes at the right time as far as Chelsea fans are concerned, and we hope that he continues and keep on banging in those performances. Right. So let's move on to Leicester. I think Leicester has been unlucky. Leicester as a club, because Leicester does not get the limelight and they are not as glamorous as some other clubs right now. And they also have been plagued by many injuries. They have been unfortunate because they have missed Jamie Vardy for quite a lengthy period due to injury. Maddison is out. But the player who has come to the fold right now is Iñárritu, and he is looking the part right now. He also scored 2 goals against Manchester United in the FA Cup quarterfinal. So what do you have to say about that?
Kelechi Iheanacho is in the form of his life right now. He's in the form of his
Yes.
life. Whenever you play him, he's bound to score goals, and he's actually liking the limelight on himself as well. Even with Manchester City, when he was there, Kelechi Iheanacho always had a certain amount of potential. Probably when you come into a side where you already have a superstar forward playing, so it becomes like that. It becomes like that Tammy Abraham, Timo Werner wala equation again. Okay, it becomes like that thing again. So Kelechi Iheanacho is, but the only thing is, like Tammy Abraham doesn't look as ambitious as how Kelechi Iheanacho looks, because he's got that ambition to himself that bhai mujhe फोड़ना है, ठीक है. He always has that ambition to himself, because you're coming from a club like that. You're coming from a club which is ambitious in itself, Manchester City, and he was a part of a very good Manchester City side. Okay, he was not a part of like a very mediocre Manchester City side. He was part of a really good Manchester City side. So if you're coming from that setup and you're coming to a club like Leicester City and you have a player like Jamie Vardy playing up front, ठीक है, तुम्हारे दिमाग में ये चलेगा कि भाई मैं अपने आप को प्रूव कैसे करूं, मैं अपने आप को प्रूव कैसे करूं, मैं अपने आप को प्रूव कैसे करूं. एंड फाइनली जब ये टाइम आता है कि भाई मुझे फर्स्ट 11 पे चांस क्यों नहीं मिल रहा, ठीक है, मुझे हर बार एफए कप में क्यों खिलाया जा रहा है, प्रीमियर लीग, why am I not playing any Premier League games, why am I still only the striker reserved for league cups or FA cups. That was how it started for him. Because everybody was like, Jamie Vardy is irreplaceable up front. But now that Brendan Rodgers has probably found a way to include both Vardy and Iheanacho into the picture, it has become a dream for him, because he's getting to learn from one of the best in the business, at least in the Premier League, on the pitch itself. And he doesn't have to sacrifice anything for that. He doesn't have to feel bad about the fact that he doesn't have to feel pressurized about the fact that he's replacing a legend in that particular position. He's replacing a Leicester legend in the particular position because he's playing alongside him. Brendan Rodgers has finally made it work. So that is probably what is working for Iheanacho right now. He's playing with a free mind. He's worked his literal ass off in training to get to where he is. बीच में rumors भी चल रहे थे कि Iheanacho निकल जाएगा because he's not being given enough chances by Brendan Rodgers or by the Leicester City board to prove himself on the pitch. But I don't think so right now is the case. I think he should be pretty happy with his performances in that blue shirt that he's playing in. And that's exactly why he's been under the radar a bit. I think so FPL managers are taking him a lot. Don't think so he's under the radar there, but I think so with pundits and other people, I think so he has been I think they're not talking much about him currently, which they should. So
Yeah, so now we move to Arsenal. I,
to the part of
I don't know
London
why.
which we should not talk about.
I don't know why I smile or laugh when I think about Arsenal, but last time when I did that,
चैंपियंस
we
लीग
got
में चैंपियंस लीग क्वार्टर फाइनल्स में भले ही हम 6 साल बाद आ रहे हैं, आर्सेनल तो
गौरव ने बोला लास्ट वीडियो में कि they have not played Champions League since the day Xhaka has come to North London. So that is one fact for all you guys who didn't know. And so
क्या किए थे लास्ट टाइम आर्सेनल चैंपियंस लीग में? आर्शविन था ना उनके पास लास्ट टाइम जब चैंपियंस लीग में?
नहीं बायर्न से 5-1 आ गए थे।
अच्छा, अच्छी बात है। अच्छी बात है।
नहीं तो मैं लेकिन
मोस्ट रिसेंटली
मैं लेकिन
हाँ बोल
मैं ज्यादा मजाक इसलिए नहीं उड़ाता आर्सेनल का क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम मैंने डिड दैट वी गॉट बीट 3-1 at Emirates and I was so confident about that game कि इनसे तो नहीं हारेंगे आज, बट ठीक है, फुटबॉल है, funny things happen and we were deservedly beaten. I don't think कि हम बहुत अच्छा खेले थे उस दिन, and although थोड़े से मतलब dubious calls थे, obviously रीस जेम्स ने जो पेनल्टी कंसीड करी थी वो 50-50 थी एंड जाका मतलब लाइफ में शायद उसके बाद वो ऐसा फ्री किक नहीं मारेगा कभी अपने करियर में। हाँ, और साका भी बॉल क्रॉस कर रहा था और अंदर चली गई। लेकिन टॉकिंग अबाउट बुकायो साका, आई मीन everyone is talking about how Odegaard is and Aubameyang there always been there. He also scored a hat trick against Leeds. So these players like Saka get overshadowed sometimes, I think, because the emergence of Emil Smith-Rowe has also revamped their midfield. But Saka's contribution sometimes goes unnoticed because we saw that against Benfica also when Arsenal made that dramatic comeback, being two goals down. So, do you think that Saka can be the next big thing for Arsenal in the long term?
They are already on the road to making Saka the central figure for whatever Arsenal represents in the future, because Aubameyang is slowly getting sidelined more and more. We are seeing that in the past few games. Lacazette is getting more and more chances to shine up front, and he's doing that. I think Aubameyang will have to sit on the bench for quite some time now if Lacazette continues to do what he's doing. But just talking about how Arsenal are shaping up for the future, I think it's not along the lines of Aubameyang anymore, because Aubameyang ka age bhi ho gaya. I don't think so they should do that anymore. The future is Bukayo Saka for them, at least according to a neutral football fan right now for Arsenal games, because if I'm looking at Arsenal games right now, everything flows along the lines of probably, as you mentioned, Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka. And I think the most impactful player in their recent games has to be Bukayo Saka, because whenever the ball comes to his feet, he's so wriggly. He's so wriggly with his body stature and with his demeanor as well. And his pace is undoubtedly really good. People were concerned about how matured he would be after the first few games that he played in, but I think so the first few games that he played in was, I think so वो उसको wing back भी खिला रहे थे बीच में, if I'm not wrong. I don't think so that was the perfect position for him to play in. So I think right now, with the way Arsenal is set up, I think Arteta has understood what are the strengths of Bukayo Saka and he's using it to the maximum, and he's proving his mettle for Arsenal.
Yeah, so I think players like Saka are the players which can take Arsenal to the next level. And obviously Odegaard is performing well right now, but I don't think if he continues to do so, Madrid will let him go.
Yeah.
So let's see. And so let's see what happens to Arsenal. A banter club that Arsenal is right now.
I don't think so. They will consider themselves a banter club anymore. Although we would like to consider them, because obviously we're in the Champions League. ठीक है, and they are not. ठीक है, so they will not consider themselves much as the banter club because Premier League mean their fortunes are slowly and gradually turning around. They are playing good football as well. It's not like they are playing anything. They're playing a negative brand of football. They're playing good football as well. But obviously, Invincible seems like Mughal Azam ka zamana for each and every Arsenal football fan. I'm pretty sure about that.
I remember your podcast with Yash from YJ Reviews, where you predicted your top four at the start of the season, and Arsenal was one of them. So
yeah, the गलतियां होती है लोगों से, and that was one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life. But yeah, I'll try not to repeat them.
no worries, but you were right for the most of the part because no one predicted what has happened to Liverpool, and will happen in such a fashion that they will, absolutely lose out. So now, from moving to these top four clubs, we'll talk about the most exciting club, the most exciting team to watch right now. No matter what the scoreline is, they keep on attacking, and the team who has a left back as a number 10 on his jersey, you can only expect fireworks. Obviously, I'm talking about Leeds United and Marcelo Bielsa's White Army. So we have been talking about players like Patrick Bamford, Alioski, all those players. Their record signing Rodrigo hasn't clicked for them as they would have liked. But the one player which we think is Rafinha, who has been their Mr. Consistent.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What is like? Obviously, we see Marcelo Bielsa, going for it whenever. Like I remember they were 4-0 or 5-0 down in the game against Manchester United, and still they were attacking.
Still they're attacking, yeah.
And Arsenal against at 4-0, I was watching that game with Gaurav, and he was like at 4-0, he was quite comfortable. And at the 58th minute, Leeds scored their first goal. तो मैंने उसको कहा कि 4-4 याद है न्यूकासल और आर्सेनल और मैंने कहा न्यूकासल का कमबैक भी लगभग इसी टाइम से स्टार्ट हुआ था and for next 32 minutes he was very nervous because Leeds were not they were relentless. They were relentless in that game, and they managed to score 2 goals. But yeah, that's the kind of football that Leeds bring to the table, and Rafinha has been a central figure in all of this.
Yeah. Because if you look at Rafinha as well, Marcelo Bielsa has shaped a team that people would say that, okay, fine, it is Bamford who's like the hero of the side, or there's nobody else who's heroing the side. To another person who's looking at it from the outside, people would definitely say that Patrick Bamford is the one who's heroing the side, but it's not. It's actually not. I feel Patrick Bamford is massively overrated. I feel Patrick Bamford is massively overrated because the amount of chances that he gets in the box, it's not even funny. It is not even funny. The amount of chances he gets in the box and the amount of chances he fucks up, it is amazing. It is amazing. And that is, I think if he could have even finished half of the chances he gets, Leeds would have been in a better position than where they are right now, because they create a lot. Obviously, they create a lot because it's like when they attack as a hound, and when they defend as a hound. So that's how they do their job. So that is what Leeds is, and Rafinha is a very important part of that because Rafinha likes to assume responsibility a lot whenever we see him in games. It may seem to a third man that it is very selfish, but when you're looking at the game as a whole, you're seeing that when other players are not playing well, that's when Rafinha would be like, "Achha, main akele kuch try karta, kuch karne ka." And half of the time he's successful. Half of the time he's successful in doing that. Probably other half mein nahi successful hoga, but half of the time he's pretty successful. And he has a relation to Ronaldinho as well. So he has good relations with Ronaldinho as well. He's learning from the best in the business that we've ever seen. So that works in his favor. The other part that works in his favor is just how tricky he is. how the tricky customer that he is to defend, man. उसको तू बोलेगा नहीं कि भाई तेरे पास blistering pace है. मतलब he has pace, but he doesn't have like blistering kind of a pace कि भाई he'll outrun people. ठीक है, पर वो जो body feints जो करता है ना, like the way he works his body while moving along the pitch in the final third, that is amazing to see. And it almost looks like sometimes, and his shots are really good as well. Like his shot accuracy in the Premier League is not bad, is definitely not bad. He picks his moments really well. So that is what he is about. He is also another player who's about more about charisma, but he also has a certain amount of technique to his play as well. So it would be great to see how Leeds continue to hold on to him in the upcoming transfer market. It would be really great to see that. If nobody approach him, I will be really surprised. I'll be really, really surprised if people approach Patrick Bamford more than approaching him. I would be really surprised. And that would probably explain this bite that we are having about Rafinha being one of the most underrated players, because if nobody approaches him in the transfer market, it makes up a solid proof that he is an underrated player. So, yeah.
Yeah, rightly said. And if talking about one more very underrated player, which I think can easily move into a top 4 club, is Bissouma from Brighton. I mean, he has been quite solid and he is a very good player. And the kind of traits that he has, he is suited for a team who is looking to strengthen their midfield. And he has that physicality also. He is very comfortable on the ball. And I think people will come for him after the season gets over.
Yeah, for sure. Bissouma is again very consistent as well. Very consistent, very physical. That's what you need, a no-nonsense kind of an anchor man there. If somebody wants a no-nonsense kind of an anchor, I think so. United need one, because I think I was talking to a fan in my office, and he was like, the way you have Kante, we have nobody in that particular position.
They might go for NDD also. Like if NDD goes, NDD also is quite a hot property.
Money-making model, man. I really envy that club in that zone. They have a fantastic money-making model. मतलब एक player को रखो for 3-4 seasons, develop the fuck out of that player, and then sell him for some really good bucks. That is a great business. That is a superb business.
They have done it with Kante. They have done it with Chilwell. Yeah. Maguire exactly. Is an example of that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Chilwell को हमने कितने में लिया? 60 में लिया?
50-60
में लिया. Maguire 80 में गया. कांटे भी कितने में गया था? 30-40 में गया था, if I'm not wrong. ठीक है, 30-40 में गया. देख ले इधर ही कितना पैसे में ये लोग 3 players ही चले गए यार, who have been with that club for 4-5 years, 3-4 years itself. So that is a super business making model. But yeah, I mean, going back to Bissouma again, why Manchester United, and if not NDD, why him, is because Fred is definitely not working for them. Okay, and even if Fred works for them, and even if they would want to hold on to Fred, they would still need a person who is the destroyer in midfield. Who's that kind of a player in midfield. So that's exactly the player that Bissouma is. No nonsense, pass karo सीधा and intercept karo पीछे, आगे नहीं जाना है, पीछे ही रहना है, and just absorb the pressure that comes onto you. So perfect player.
Yes, because I don't see Pogba staying there for a long, and Matic is not way past his prime. So they need a player, and Fred, as you have already mentioned, that he is not working for them.
Yeah.
So they will be going after, and I don't know, like we might digress a bit from the topic, but United, I don't understand why they are always behind the marquee signings instead of, strengthening the areas in which they need to strengthen. I mean, they desperately need a centre back. And I was, see, this is a problem that I don't want to generalize anything, but I don't know with all the United fans that I speak, 90% of them seem deluded. I mean, they forget the big picture and they only concentrate on what is front of them right now. Like, for example, they think that if Eric Bailly remains fit, they don't need a centre back. So I just asked them that, do you think Lindelof and Maguire is a world-class partnership which can, win you the treble? No, it can't win us the treble, but we don't need a centre back. So what are your ambitions then? I mean, Manchester United is supposed to be competing for all 3 trophies at the same time.
After all, it's Manchester United. Like कितना history के बारे में बात करते हो भाई?
जेडन सैंचो के पीछे जा रहे हो, प्रॉपर एक सेंटर मिडफील्डर लो ना. मतलब ब्रूनो अकेला कितना कर लेगा? ब्रूनो को ट्रांजिशन के लिए भी तो एक पीछे बंदा चाहिए ना. और आपके पास काउंटर प्रेस करने के लिए कोई बंदा नहीं होता, इसीलिए ब्रूनो गोज मिसिंग इन द बिग गेम्स. इफ यू हैव सीन, he has been pocketed by Thomas Partey of all people in 2 games. Arsenal did not let United do a single thing, and I won't be surprised if we see a Arsenal victory in the Europa League Cup final.
And even the way they are boasting about the win against City, yes, they played well, but it was the 2 goals that they scored were because of how horrible Joao Cancelo was on the night. So it's primarily because of that. I don't think the City played a really bad game that day. They were not really bad. It's just that when you're 2 goals down, your morale takes a massive dip, and that's what happened. So I think United need to unite. Manchester United, anybody who's in the transfer market, for them, they really need to look at themselves in the mirror and then say that, yes, this is the position that we really need to strengthen. I think why fans are telling you that, they don't need a center back is because they already have had a massive transfer outlay in that particular position. वो लोग को वही लग रहा कि अभी मगवायर पे 80 million स्पेंड कर दिया तो कुछ तो रहना पड़ेगा. But hey, you're talking to a club who has spent 70 million on a goalkeeper who's just playing FA Cup games now. So
बट अपन को फर्क थोड़ी पड़ता है. 70 मिलियन तो अपन ऐसे ही कर देते हैं ना. मतलब मोराटा भी तो ले लिया था अपन ने.
हाँ, मतलब वो लोग लेते हैं, फिर अपना वो लोन्स चुकाने में ही उनकी जिंदगी लोन्स चुकाने में ही चली जाती है. फिर एक टाइम पे उन लोग कितने ले लिए थे यार. डिमारिया भी ले लिया, फाल्काओ भी ले लिया था, फिर और 2 बहुत बड़े प्लेयर्स लिए थे वो लोग ने. और 2 बहुत बड़े प्लेयर्स लिए थे वो लोग ने. बहुत मैसिव ट्रांसफर आउटले था वो सीजन का. उसके बाद वो लोग लॉस में डूब गए. So yeah, anyways, you're digressing on the topic, but yeah, that's the whole scenario. That's the whole scenario about United currently.
So let's now talk about one last player which has really impressed us, Richarlison from Everton.
Yeah.
And the kind of explosive start that Everton had to this season, many were believing in Carlo Ancelotti to do the magic, but they have, fallen off quite a few places now. I don't think they will qualify for the top 4 now. And the kind of start that Dominic Calvert-Lewin had to the season, this was absolutely amazing. He was banging in goals for fun. But again, the one guy who was also doing that was Richarlison. And I think he has gone under the radar a bit. And because of that also, he is now a regular feature in the Brazilian squad.
Yeah, he's increased his goal tally in the second half of the season. Because it was like the first half of the season was dominated by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. In the second half of the season, Dominic Calvert-Lewin kind of fit. I think in the past 5 games, when you're looking at the goal tally, Richarlison has more goals than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So that is exactly the comparison that is there. But it's a boon for any manager to have 2 strikers of yours who are taking turns in firing. Like there is not a single phase when both your strikers are not firing in the whole season. So that is kind of a boon. That is kind of a good, that is being in a good position. So I think Carlo Ancelotti is in a good position there. Yes, he has lost.
Drogba Nelka की याद आ गई.
हाँ, वो भी है. Correct. Drogba Nelka. वो भी है. Drogba Nelka on their days were crazy, bro. I think even Malouda, for example, 2013 early season, if I'm not wrong. ठीक है, Florian Malouda जब आया था, he was one of the top scorers for us in that particular season. It was brilliant to see. But yeah, coming back to just Richarlison, man, Richarlison is an advanced forward in that role, can be a good poacher in the box as well, can run around a lot. Okay, he can run around in that final third. He can press also. He likes to press in the final third as well. Doesn't like to track back much, but when the opponent are passing in their own defensive phase, he likes to press all of them. So that is a good trait to have for a striker. And he's always very driven. He's a very driven personality. I like that about him. He's a very, very driven personality. Yes, he's extremely cunning to get a penalty or to get a free kick sometimes outside the box. He has a very cunning mentality to himself as well. Dive bhi karta hai. But I think so. This is one place where I would like to add my pennies here is यार आजकल के फुटबॉल में कौन डाइव नहीं करता है ठीक है लाइक मॉडर्न फुटबॉल में कौन डाइव नहीं करता है ठीक है देयर आर वेरी फ्यू पीपल हु डोंट रिजॉर्ट टू दैट ठीक है there are a lot
especially
of
when VAR is in place right now.
Exactly, there are a lot of people who resort to that just for the livelihood, like the certain curly haired player from Liverpool. But
वो तो बहुत ही गंदा था यार वो सिटी के अगेंस्ट.
yeah, I mean, मैं बोल ही नहीं सकता है यार उसके बारे में क्या ही बोलूं ठीक है but I mean Richarlison के साथ कभी कभी he does that. He's very cunning with getting a free kick as well. All of that is there, but there's no doubt about the talent that he has in the end. Okay, and he's showing that in the past few games, and it's great to see.
Yeah, so now coming to the managers, there have been like obviously Pep Guardiola, who has taken the league by storm this season. City had their worst start in last 10 years in the first 8-9 games, and then they have started setting records after records. But the one manager who you think, one or two managers who you think have really performed beyond your expectations or are not getting the kind of due that they deserve, or again as the theme of this video have flown under the radar. So those managers, who do you think top 2-3 managers in your opinion this season?
जब हम प्लान कर रहे थे मैंने एक मैनेजर का नाम लिया था बट मेरे दिमाग में अभी और एक का नाम आया सो आई प्रॉब्ली टेक 3 मैनेजर्स का नाम ठीक है 3 का मैं लूंगा एक तो डेविड मॉयस जिसके बारे में बात की थी डेविड मॉयस इज on another level. I think I've gone on length about describing what David Moyes has done so far in the Premier League, so I'll not take too much time on him. Agla wala will be Bielsa again. Not under, I won't say he's gone under the radar. Everybody knows what Bielsa ball is. Okay. But I'll still mention him because again, for even if Leeds are coming in the top 10, they should not be disappointed. Even if Leeds are coming in the top 10, nobody should be making rumors about probably Bielsa leaving Leeds next season and joining a UA, for example. Okay. चूती हो क्या मतलब चैंपियनशिप से आए हो भाई चैंपियनशिप से आके यू फिनिशिंग इन द टॉप 10 मजाक नहीं है भाई it's not child's play. Chris Wilder did that with Sheffield United and inexplicably he has been sacked in this particular season. I think they were too fast to actually pull the ringer on him, Sheffield United, because if I believe that a club which doesn't have the resources to be big in the transfer market and pull the big names or pull even median club names, the people who are playing in Sheffield United, they are mediocre at best. Okay, but if a manager is taking a mediocre team to a 7th or 8th place finish in the first season of his Premier League, ठीक है second season में they are doing very bad, but that had to come at some point of time. They had to dip down to the reality of the Premier League and they go back down to the Championship and then come back again. That is how it works. But I think they pulled the ringer on Chris Wilder too soon. If this would have been happening in the previous season, I would have definitely mentioned Chris Wilder as one of the most underrated managers to have played. And to be honest, I still am taking Chris Wilder's name because he's not currently there, but I'm still taking Chris Wilder's name because he deserves to be mentioned. He is one hell of a manager. He's one top class manager, Chris Wilder. It is a surprise that he is not in the Premier League anymore. I think he'll be back soon. I think one of the clubs will definitely sack their managers, and Newcastle is looking as front runners in that zone. So I think Chris Wilder can do a brilliant job at Newcastle because again Newcastle is one of those teams who are no, the players who are playing in Newcastle aren't as bad as Sheffield, to be honest. They have mid-level wala decent players playing there. ठीक है, John Joe Shelby and even Arsenal का बंदा
Maxi,
भाई Joe Willock. Joe Willock,
Maximin.
exactly. So it's not like they have bad players playing in that squad. They have decent players playing in that squad. They just need to have they just need to play together as a unit. And I think Chris Wilder knows exactly that. So Chris Wilder, mera ek, I want to talk about him. So Chris Wilder is that Bielsa is Bielsa. I just want to mention his name here because top 10 अगर लेके आया, खुश रहो भाई लोग. Don't churn the rumor mill just because of the fact that बहनचोद ये तो top 7 में नहीं लेके आया, top 6 में नहीं लेके आया, तो sack हो जाएगा. दिमाग से खेलो थोड़ा भाई, ठीक है. अगर top 10 लेके आया, that's beautiful. Even if not top 10, if he gets 11th or 12th for Leeds, that is an incredible achievement in the Premier League. Okay, that is an incredible achievement in the first season. ठीक है, with the brand that you're playing, with the brand that he is playing, I think he is revolutionized the Premier League landscape in terms of championship teams coming into the mix and playing such bold, fearless football. Okay, so वो एक चीज तो बियल्सा से देखने को मिल रही है. And the last manager that I wanted to like tip my hat off to was Ralph Hasenhüttl, because yeah, I really love the manager, man. I think so. Southampton are a bit unlucky right now. Okay, Southampton are a bit unlucky right now, but I think if there is another team who is second to Marcelo Bielsa in terms of playing bold, fearless football with the kind of mid-level resources that they have, that's Southampton. That is Southampton, because Southampton again don't boast of any superstar players. They have good players in every position. They have like उस पोजीशन के लिए अच्छे हैं, like वैसे टाइप के प्लेयर्स हैं उनके पास. ठीक है, उनको और कहीं मत खिलाओ, बट उतना पोजीशन खिलाओगे सही, like they'll give you a 7 or 8 out of 10. ठीक है, वैसा टाइप they will give you performance, but you can't expect 9 out of 10 performances from them if you play them in that particular position. And I think Hasenhüttl is happy with that, and Hasenhüttl has built a tactic which allows them to play in transitions well, and also be more effective on set pieces, because obviously James Ward-Prowse is an amazing set piece taker. I personally, like, this is a huge statement that I'm making, but I personally would love to have James Ward-Prowse on Chelsea. I would love to have him in Chelsea. I'll tell you why. Because our set pieces have weakened. Okay, हम लोग set pieces में थोड़ा weak हो गए. We need a substitute to a Mason Mount as a set piece taker. We need a substitute to that. We thought we had Hakim Ziyech. And Hakim Ziyech does deliver 1 or 2 good balls in his good days right now in the past few games, but he's not very consistent with set piece deliveries. He's not. Let's face it, he's not. Most of the times he fails to beat the first man. तो वो चीज बहुत देखने को मिल रही है. James Ward-Prowse is very good in set pieces, man. Is extreme. And imagine the pace that we have in the final third, and imagine the amount of free kicks that we usually get on a on a game-to-game basis. And imagine a James Ward-Prowse behind those free kicks. So that is what I'm looking at. So because if we are getting those amount of set pieces, imagine a James Ward-Prowse in there. And I don't think so he would even like to play as a regular in the first team in a club like Chelsea. He could be a good backup option, and he would be happy with that because he's getting to play Champions League. So I think that is a great option to have, and that is how Ralph Hasenhüttl has developed his own players at Southampton, because that is what he's done at Southampton. Even for Ryan Bertrand, our own Ryan Bertrand, he's donned a leadership quality as well. Very good. Again, a very underrated left back again. I really like that player. I can never thank him enough for what he did in the 2012 Champions League final. I can never thank him enough for that. So I'll always rate him every time, whatever the situation may be. Very underrated again. And I probably didn't take his name because it's more down to the manager for bringing that sense of winning mentality to every player who plays in that particular position. लेस्टर के अगेंस्ट वो लोग बहुत गंदा हारे थे in that rain soaked match that happened, and in the return leg सबने देखा क्या हुआ. ठीक है. So Southampton just came back roaring in the return leg. So it is that kind of a fighting mentality, and I really like Ralph Hasenhutl's क्या बोलते हैं टच लाइन प्रेजेंस. ठीक है, you can never miss him in the touch line. You can absolutely never miss him in the touch line. He's always hyperactive, and that's how, if I was a team member playing for Ralph Hasenhutl, I would want my manager to be in that category, because I would feed off the energy that he's giving off on the touch line. So that is exactly why I will name Ralph Hasenhutl in this category.
Nice. So yeah, guys, I think that's about it. And thank you, Guruji, for doing this tonight with us. And guys, please, again, I would request you to check out GuruGyaan. Link is in the description below. And we have also done a video together on Guruji's channel. Do check it out. Thank you, Guruji.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure being here, and hopefully we'll have more collabs in the future. Thank you.
See you guys. Take care. Bye.